Lovely. Can you do it again, this time with the ingredients as they were?
Lovely.
And exactly, they were perfect.
Lovely.
Okay, so we are going to be making ramen or ramen, depending on if you're north or south of the country. Well, this isn't really ramen though, to be fair. This is a completely personalised version of it. I've had traditional ramen and it's pretty much different to this. So this is essentially, it's a broth mixed with all sorts of bits, but we're also using something called a tar or a tare, T-A-R-E. So pan down, let's have a look at what we're doing. We have these ingredients just here. This is what I'm going to put in a pan to make a seasoning that sits at the bottom of the broth. You can add more to it. It's kind of like personal preference, and it's what makes it super unctuous. So what we've got here, we've got soy, we've got some mirin, we have some garlic, got a little sesame seed paste, or tahini, we've got some ginger, and we have some white miso and some demerara sugar just there for a bit of sweetness. You've got these things here which are super cool. These are like basically instant noodles that you get in a pot noodle but without any of the other bits and bobs. And so they're going to cook in just a minute or two and then they're going to go into it as well. We've got some coriander just to finish. And then in our base, all of this is going to go essentially uncooked, okay? So we have some pepper, some onion. Now I would normally be using a spring onion for this, but I don't have any spring onion, so we're just going to use a tiny bit of fresh onion here. But the hot broth will cook this so it loses that sort of sharpness. Get a carrot, finely shredded or sliced, or even you could call it julienne. We also have the same with some white cabbage. Now this is ginger that we've got here that I'll add to my dinner tonight, but not Bev's, because you don't like ginger, which is a shocker.
I do, I just don't like the big massive chunks of it.
Okay, well, you tell me.
Is
that a big massive
chunk?
chunk?
I like it great. If it's going to be tiny, that's fine.
We have some chili
massive.
here, and here we have some wakame. This is actually a piece of magic. This is what we call a magic ingredient, because this thing here has been dried and it's a seaweed, but when it is undried or rehydrated, it expands into gigantic proportions. So although that doesn't seem much, that will be quite a lot for the dish. And then here, I've just taken four slices of courgette and then pan fried them. Now, normally we would be adding these little cool mushrooms. I can't even remember what they're called at the moment. But they're like dead thin with little tiny heads on. You get them from the Chinese supermarket and they are ridiculously yummy. I'm not a big fan of mushrooms, but these are really, really tasty mushrooms. So I normally have mushrooms here, but again, we don't have any mushrooms here, so we're not gonna have any mushrooms in this dish. And then finally, because we're going full on gourmet, we're going to be having some sirloin steak with it as well, which we're going to finish with a little bit of butter as well. So that's going to do the whole thing. And we're going to make this proper rare, because it's going to go into the broth. You're making some noises there. So we're going to have that proper rare because it's going to finish in the broth. So right, if you want to come with me, let's do this. This dish first. So we're going to make the tar or the tare. I don't even know which way you're doing it. So all the ingredients are going to go in here. Everyone who knows what they're doing with ramen, they are going to go, what are you doing? This is not a ramen, but this is what I do, and I think it's dead tasty. So that goes in here. This is going to be a little bit too much, really, for our purposes. So this will be stored in the fridge, and then we'll have it again another day. And then I'm just going to use a tiny bit of our stock. Now, if you've looked at any of the other recipes, we also have a recipe for homemade chicken stock. This is all this is. So this is a high quality gourmet chicken stock. I'm just going to put a tiny bit in there just to help loosen it up. Put that back on the heat. Leave this on the heat for 5 minutes or so, 5 or 10 minutes. And that's just going to cook away. We're going to add this, as I say, to the bottom. We're going to strain it of all these ingredients here. Okay, so that's just going to blip away. Can smell very delicious. It's rich. Okay, you wouldn't want to eat that or have it completely raw. It's going to sit at the bottom. So this pan here has been on the hot heat. I'm going to leave that simmering away. We are ready for the steakage. So, salt. Don't disrespect your salt by not seasoning properly. It can take a lot of salt.
Disrespect your salt.
Did I just say disrespect your salt?
Yeah.
Okay, it's because I was using the salt at the same time. Don't disrespect your steak. You spent all this money on a delicious bit of steak. Don't under-season it and then think, oh, it doesn't taste so much. So plenty of salt. And for all the people I've cooked steak for, they've never gone, that's too salty. So that's how much you do it. Pan is on nice and hot. I think, have we cooked steak in this series? Cooked with us too yet? Or was it just chicken? Just chicken. She's waving her head. Little piece. Right, this is nearly ready to be turned over. Little piece. In goes the butter. Hello and welcome back. So, noodles are done, steak's cooked. What I've done is just quickly deglazed the pan with some water, and then obviously that's made a little bit of emulsion. We're just going to use that to finish the ramen as well. So we put this stuff here at the bottom, which smells incredible.
Let's go.
Let's do this. Teaspoon for that. Right, hungry?
Yes.
Right then, so we have all our bits and bobs ready for a fantastic ramen. So now it's just a quick case of assembling it all. So what we're going to do first, we're going to put in this stuff. This is your tar that we're going to put in. So that's got bags of flavour. Now you can always add more to it, so we're just going to add couple of teaspoons to the base of the dish of the tar. Then we're going to start putting in also various vegetables. That's our cabbage. We've got a little bit of our carrots, a little bit of this finely shredded onion here. We're going to put some of this wakame, easy with the wakame because it explodes when all the hot heat hits into it. Going to add a few of these little chilies, just like here. Okay, we have our resting juices, so we're just going to add a tiny bit of our resting juices to it as well, like that. We're then going to get our steak, and then we're just going to slice this up. So, I'll be honest, a little over what I was after. That's quite medium rare. Going to put some of our noodles in here. These are the instant noodles. A few noodles go in. It's almost like a gourmet pot noodle, you might say. So they're going to go in there. Then we put the wakame in there, so we've got all the little bits of bobs. Have we put some chilies in here yet?
Yep.
Let's have some few more. So a few more chilies. We're then going to add in, this is the butter basting juices for the steak. So we're just going to add a tiny bit of this, like so. Rich and delicious stock. We're then going to have our just courgettes that we've just pan fried off. We're then going to finish it with our delicious, slightly overdone steak, but it's still going to be fairly tasty. And a little bit of coriander just to garnish the dish. And then a little bit of fresh lime juice just to finish the whole thing off. And there you have it. That is Salmon Bev's Cook With Us 2 ramen dish. Absolutely yummy. I'm starving as well.